Hello, everyone. It is Aimée Clark from Earthlight Energies. Today is July 28th, and this is the Wellness Project. Today, we are going to be talking about the journey to being, journey through Reiki and becoming a Reiki practitioner. And I have invited the delightful Kayleigh Lafleche to come and talk to us today about her journey with Reiki and her experiences as a Reiki practitioner. So welcome Kayleigh. And before we
Hello.
start talking and introducing you, I just want to quickly share my screen here just to bring up the information about the Wellness Project, just for people to have it. And here we go. So the Wellness Project, I'm doing a series of videos around different topics. I'm inviting different entrepreneurs, different Reiki practitioners to come and speak to you, and these videos are available to share. And I hope you enjoy them. And today's topic is bringing the wonderful energy of Reiki into your life. And as I said, I'm going to be interviewing Kayleigh here, who is a recent, she recently became certified in Reiki. And for those who don't know me, I am a certified Reiki and registered Reiki Master. I'm a practitioner and teacher in North Bay, Ontario. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in health, harmony, and happiness. If you wish to contact me, my website and my email address are there. And I would like to thank you at this point for watching. Please watch all the way through if you can, subscribing, liking, and sharing. Okay, so we've got that out of the way. So Kayleigh, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? And share as much or as little as you wish.
Sure. So my name is Kayleigh, as we all found out. I was born in the northeast of England, and I moved over to Canada when I was 13, to Ontario. I have lived in several locations in Ontario, as well as northern BC. Met some amazing people along the way. I have two amazing girls who are my rocks, and we love adventures. Even right now, with everything going on with, the pandemic, we're still trying to get out there and do some adventures. We love horse riding and animals, and we have a 6-month-old English bulldog that we are taking care of right now.
Oh, wow, really? Another addition to the household.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that will keep you
Full of
busy.
trouble.
Yes. So I'm just wondering if you could kind of explain how, or just talk a little bit about how you ended up in my Reiki studio.
Absolutely. So it started out with my friend in BC. Her sister was having some health issues, and she went and saw a Reiki practitioner out in BC. At that time, I was also having some health issues, and she suggested going. I didn't go, but it's always been in the back of my mind. Last year, a huge life change happened for me, and now I can see it as a blessing, but at the time it was very traumatic, and for some reason, I was just like, I need to go over to Reiki. I didn't know really much about Reiki, but I knew I had to go to Reiki. So I Googled it, and Aimée, you came up, and I was just drawn to you there was other people, but I was just drawn to you. So that is why I ended up in your studio.
Yes, and I'm forever grateful. It's been a pleasant experience. Even, I always learn from my students and learn from my clients, and it's been a really fun journey. So when you came in for your first Reiki session and you didn't really know about Reiki, and you came for several sessions, maybe if you could just talk about what, you didn't have that experience, that context, and then when you did have that experience and context, what was that like for you?
So yeah, like you said, I didn't know what to expect. When I was going in, I remember my first time there. I think what I was expecting was like feeling all this energy being released and like all like flow, and it was nothing like that. The only thing I can really remember out of the first like session that I had with you was you touched my left wrist, and it was so unbelievably hot, and it was getting hotter and hotter, and that was the only thing that was like, what is going on here? So totally not what I was expecting, but again, I really didn't know what to expect. I remember you telling me that after the Reiki session, like, you know, drink lots of water, you may have a headache, you may get emotional. Oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. So went home, had a lot of drink and water, and I'm like, oh, I'm fine, I'll go for a walk. Oh, then the whole emotional kicked in, and I just sat on the rock in a bush crying my eyes out.
Yeah.
But I needed to let it out, so it all came out. So,
Yeah.
and after that, we had some experiences, which is different from the first one. And those were unique because that's when I actually started to feel more of my flow, as I was saying, like the energy coming off me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the second time I could feel where you were in the room, and that just freaked me out. I've had other I've had other things like twitching, you know, floating, and but I would never expected that from Reiki. But now I'm like, oh yeah, we're doing this again. Okay.
Yeah. And maybe just to explain to people who may not know or are aware of. So under the Usui Reiki system, it goes back to Dr. Usui in Japan, and the Usui system that we practice, like it's a very common style of Reiki. It is about the Japanese techniques, about the hand positions, and the way that we actually conduct the Reiki session. Now, you are a Usui Holy Fire II Level 2 Reiki practitioner, so that means you've been certified in Level 1, and you've also been certified in Level 2. Now, the Usui part is the actual style that you're practicing. The Holy Fire on your certification comes from the fact that as a Holy Fire Reiki Master, that's how I placed the Reiki in you. So it was using those energies, but you do not have Holy Fire. So in order to become to get Holy Fire, you actually have to become a Reiki Master, a Holy Fire Reiki Master. Now, one of the things that's so beautiful about the Holy Fire, and I do want to say it has nothing to do with religion, it's all about treating the whole person. It's a very holistic approach, and the energies between the Usui system and the Holy Fire system is quite different. And having practiced the Usui system and worked with those energies for 7 years, I can definitely say there is a significant difference. Now, what you were talking about, the experiences, is something as a Holy Fire Reiki Master I can conduct. So they sound and they seem on the face of it very much like a guided meditation, but they all have purposes and are designed for a different healing experience. So we did try a number of them, and then you would have experienced more experiences when you actually took the class as well. So yes, and I do remember telling you, I think you're gonna have a bit of a cry.
Yeah, it was a huge cry, and I also remember I was walking, and then I was texting my friend, and I'm like, how can you like have your whole life together and I have nothing together? And I cut off like mid-sentence because I was just like, I'm a blubbery mess, like forget this. So yeah, it all came out.
Yes, but you felt so much better after, right?
Oh, I totally did. I was like, okay, I'm good now. Like it was just boom, I'm good now.
And the beauty of Reiki is that it heals on all levels. It heals on the physical. I mean, we're energetic bodies. We're made of energy right down to the cellular level. So we have a physical light body. We have a mental light body, an emotional, a spiritual. And the beauty of it is it works on all those different levels, and it doesn't just work for the time that you're there. It continues to work and has an impact on your life. And I guess one thing I should say too is that Reiki can't do any harm. So those symptoms that you were experiencing, it would be very similar to anyone who's gone for a massage or any other body work where, you know, afterwards you're achy, painy, you might get a headache, nausea. Those are just symptoms from having an energy treatment. So what then led you to make the decision to pursue getting certification in Reiki?
No. Yeah, you did. Sorry. I'm like, wait. No, you totally did, because you want to know why? It was, I can't really explain it how you feel, because everybody is different. Everybody feels different through it. You go through your own thing. And to me, even though you worked on me in a short period of time, I felt so much better. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on up in here, right? Lots and lots of stuff. As women, it doesn't shut off too, right?
Right.
So
Yes.
it was really good, and it helped me out a lot. And I'm that type of person who, if I can help somebody in any way, I will do it. And I just feel like this is a gift that it should be shared, and it should be, helping people as much as it can.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that's why I continued, and I want to pursue it, because it's an amazing gift, and it can help everybody. If they just allow it to help, then absolutely.
Yeah. So when you think about the class, because you took your level 1 and level 2 together, and you had 4 other people in your class, which was a great class, a great mix. We had 2 men in the class too, which is the first time that I've had 2 men in the class at the same time, and 2 brothers to boot. So that was really special. Actually, I had a whole family there, come to think of it. I had the mother and the 2 boys. So I shouldn't call them boys, 2 men. It's nice to see that masculine energy, because a lot of people tend to think of it. I mean, the Usui energy tends to be a little bit more lighter, more feminine energy, I would say, but the Holy Fire is definitely more balanced with the masculine and feminine energy. But, you had some Reiki sessions, then you took your class, and you're probably sitting there going, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to get this. How? So maybe you could talk a little bit about your first day. So day 1, when you got your level 1 and you actually got the Reiki placed in you.
Yes. So day 1 was very interesting. Because I, again, didn't know what to expect. Like you said, what am I going to do? Is just sit there and I get this? No.
Yeah.
It was, like I said, it was a really good day. I really enjoyed it. Different activities we went through to get the Reiki, and like you said, the experiences, we did those. And it was just, I felt so good at the end of that class that day. Like, I was on a high. Like, I felt so joyful. I'm like, I'm a chatterbox to start off with, but you couldn't shut me up after this thing. I'm like, and I remember, I'm like, I have to go and ground myself, because I was just I was like up here. It was crazy. I felt really with everyone there too, like the people who I was taking my class with too. That also helps your energy, right? If they're feeling good, you're feeling good. It was a good group of people to be with, to take it. So after my first day, it was a good experience. I really enjoyed it.
And how did you feel like the first time in the practice session when you're able to actually, did you have any doubts at all that when you put your hands there, that the energy was going to actually be there and flow? Like, what was that experience for you?
So, my first, out of the classroom, are you asking, Aimée?
Mm-hmm.
On the first, so my first little client student was my own daughter. And I was just like, I absolutely doubted myself, because I do that, unfortunately. So I did doubt myself, but the more I've done it, the more confident I'm with it. I've just done, with, being registered, you got to do your case studies. So I've done all those. I had 3 different guinea pigs, as I like to call them. And they were fantastic.
Very, very happy guinea pigs, though.
They are. They totally are. They were. And it's funny, because they're all different people. One truly believes in the energy and the flow. And wow, when I did hers, it was insane. Her energy was just, I felt it right away. It was actually so strong, it knocked me back, because it was just intense energy.
Yeah.
And then I had another one who I kind of felt she was just doing it to help me out, which I'm so thankful for.
Oh
But
yeah, I'm gonna do this for you just to help you, not
right,
even getting for a second what they're gonna get out of
yeah,
it.
really. And then because like she was all for it, but like I said, the energy wasn't, it was there. I still felt it. I still moved around. I still had the hot spots and whatnot, and just I could feel the energy. But the second time around, she was more willing and allowing,
Mm-hmm.
and you could feel the difference,
Yeah,
like from the first time to the second time. Now she's a client and she wants to keep coming back. So
that's
that's a good
great.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. So it is like being worked on, and then during your work and being so new at all of this too, it still amazes me. It's
yeah.
absolutely amazing. And like I said,
So,
oh,
um, if you think about the second day you were in class, so the first day you get your Reiki energy, you get 2 hours of practice. Well, it was probably a little over 2 hours of
yeah,
practice time. And then the next day we do level 2. We learned how to use Reiki for non-session techniques. So we can integrate Reiki into every aspect of our lives. And then you got the symbols. So you got placed with those symbols. Now, if you could just talk, one of the things that I had everyone do is do some Reiki on somebody with this, without symbols, and then with the symbols. I was wondering
yeah.
if you could just talk about what that was like, what that experience was like for you.
I remember I was working on the mom of the two boys,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember, yeah, I remember that exactly. Like you still feel the energy, but as soon as you put your symbol in, it was totally different, like a totally different energy. More like you could feel it was stronger,
Amplified.
intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember I was doing one on her head and like doing Reiki around her head, and it was just so like it, how can I even explain it? It was like it wasn't tingling all like pins and needles. It was actually like spiky. Like her energy was just spiky. And I never felt that on day one,
Mhm.
without this symbol. So it was really, there's definitely a difference. And I'm working with the symbols now too, with my case studies and then with clients now too. But I'm still learning them because I would still like to be like, oh, this is this one and this is this one, right? But
Mhm.
I will get there.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a difference.
Yeah. So one of the things that we learned in Reiki is that you can send Reiki at a distance.
Yes,
So you can give Reiki to a picture, just to a person's name. You can think about the person. You can use a teddy bear. You can use a pillow. And I know every student, and I always encourage them, as soon as you can after class, try to do a distant Reiki session, because, you're going to not, there's going to be a part of you that's going to really be kind of skeptical about that, even though you're taught that it's going to work, right? And oftentimes when we're sending Reiki to people, they don't know. Now we have to have permission, and there's ways we ask for permission and
yeah.
stuff like that, but we won't get into that right now. But one of the things about what has happened with this whole situation that's going on in globally right now is that we do have the ability to heal people and send Reiki at a distance. So one of the things that we can have, one of the great things that we can do is just using Zoom or Skype or the phone, whatever.
Yes.
So I know for you, because you don't live in North Bay, first I think we'll just talk about the sessions, but you've had quite a few clients that you've been, doing the virtual sessions with. So I just wondered if you could talk about that, like what methods are you using? Are you using the phone? Are you using Zoom? Are you just doing it like I'm setting, 30 minutes aside and sending Reiki to somebody? How are you doing that?
So first of all, with the distance Reiki, I first found out when all this COVID stuff happened that it actually existed. I didn't know it existed. And I will tell you, I was just like, what? No way. Like, there's no way you can do this. No, 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 no. And I didn't believe it. And then when we were in class and we getting told it, I still didn't feel anything. I'm like, how is this supposed to work? Like, but nope, don't doubt it. So sure enough, because I'm not in North Bay, I have friends up there, like you said, clients up there. So I've been doing distant. And at first I'm just like, all right, I'm going to do it. I'll admit it's harder for people who don't understand Reiki. I've had a few clients where they're like, I don't get it. And I'm just like, it's okay. When I go up, we'll do a Reiki session, then you'll know what to expect, what's it all about. But there's been a few that how I do it, I don't even do it with Zoom or Skype. I have a picture on my phone. I have their name and I do my pray and I say their name and then I work on this little guy who is my biggest, like my teddy bear, my little teddy bear, my rabbit. And this one is what I do all my Reiki on. And it is crazy. And because sometimes, and I write down all my sessions. So every time I'm done, even like if it's for 15 minutes, I will write down what I felt, where I felt it, what the energy felt like to me. And then I'll shoot them a message, a text message. Hey, I just did like 30 minutes of Reiki on you. This is what I found. And some of them are like, okay. But it was one who was a really good comeback. And I said what I found. They're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay. But then the next day, it was really cool because she turned around, she's like, I have not felt this clear since COVID has hit. Like,
wow.
She can, yeah, right? Like, it's so crazy. And a lot of her energy was in her head, the back of her head, the base, like, so it was really good. And another thing that I just found out was one of my case studies, we were trying to set up a time to actually do Reiki. And I was like, you know what, I'll just do distant and, we'll go from there kind of thing. So again, I just didn't, I have a picture of her on my phone. I had that set aside. I called in my Reiki. I'd done the Reiki. I wrote it down. And then when I actually went to do her very first session, where I had it on the distant was exactly where she needed it in person.
Isn't that so cool?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Now, in person was 10 times stronger than what I felt on my little teddy bear, but it was still, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. And when I told her this, she's just like, wow. Like, she was blown away.
Yeah, and it's using the teddy bear is a really good method. When I'm teaching, I borrow my daughter's teddy bear. Well, it's Sally. She's a Build-A-Bear. And, every time I go to take Sally to class, she goes, you make sure that everyone takes care of Sally. And I said, Sally's the most Reiki bear around. She's well taken care of. You don't have to worry.
I think this one's getting up here too.
Well, you can take it places with you because it's going to be filled with Reiki, right? It's energy. It's going to be in the, objects hold energy. So, yeah. Now, one of the things that we also did during the lockdown is I wanted to continue because one of the things that I offer to not only my students, but anyone who has level 1 or above are Reiki shares. So Reiki shares are open to anyone who has Reiki, whether you're an active practitioner, you're just using Reiki for yourself or others. And it allows you to come in and have this space where we can share techniques and ask questions, openly use our symbols, share experiences. And because I just can't help myself, I usually have experiments.
We all know about those.
Yes, that we try. However, the very first all virtual Reiki share that we had was in April, I believe. Yeah, because it was the end of March where we had it was either March or April. And you joined us probably for the May or June. The May one, yeah, because your class was just before that one. So, and we Zoomed you in along with, I think there was like 6 other people.
There was a lot of us that
There
did.
was a lot of
Yes.
people there.
Yes.
And then we had that Reiki share. And I just thought it would be, and I mean, you just make me laugh because it was because of what you said. It's, you know, even though I mean, you had literally just got your Reiki, and here we were doing this virtual session. So I just wondered if you could share, because we had all these people on the line.
Yeah.
There was probably 8 or 9, I think, people online. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm trying to remember, but it doesn't matter. We've had, going forward, I always have someone online, because there's people from out of town that can't come in, or people that aren't quite comfortable or don't want to come in, you know, until things just shift and change a bit. So I just wondered if you could share your experience.
Absolutely. So the first time, like Aimée said, there was quite a few of us, and actually they were all newbie. Like I believe most of them were my class, right? And I think there might have been 2 other people that weren't. And that one, yeah, I did feel it. I was like, okay, yeah, it's working. Like it wasn't that it was not working. I definitely felt something. But the second time we did it, so that was in May and June, that's the one that just like blew me away. I'm like, I was totally gobsmacked, didn't know what to say. I was speechless, and it takes a lot for me to be speechless. So for this to happen, I'm just like, I couldn't even, it was so crazy. So when this happens, usually like you lie down, you get relaxed, right? So I was on my bed, and I didn't even have my computer screen. It was just my little phone I had at the time. So, you know, it's like a little iPhone like this big. And I had it beside me, and I just felt the energy. Like it was like a blanket that was over me, but it was being taken away and like going into the phone. Like I felt the whole energy on it. I'm like, ugh. Like how is that even possible, right? Like it was just, I will never forget it. And then my whole left side, someone was working on that like you wouldn't believe, because the heat that was coming off it and the flow of the energy that was coming off it too was just unbelievable. Every time, it's mind-blowing. I think what I said was weird. Like I couldn't even think of the right word to say.
Oh, it was just your explanation. You just said, I just can't believe it. Like
I could not believe
it's so
it.
weird. And then you said, but it's not weird.
It is. It's a good weird. That was it. That's what I told, because I couldn't even think of words. Because it was so weird, and it was just unbelievable. And like I said at the beginning, I didn't even believe in this distance. I'm not gonna lie. I was just like, how is this gonna even work? Like, but now with me doing it to people, with me getting feedback from people also, it's also made me more confident actually going into in-person session too, because I'm like, if the distance is working, the in-session is definitely gonna work. And it has. But I will definitely do any distance Reiki anytime, because it works.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I guess that's one thing that,
it was.
Yeah, and I guess that's one thing that for me as a teacher, I'm really loving about this time, because it really gives everyone the opportunity to practice, and there are some of my students that do live out of town and they can't always get into North Bay. So having having Zoom has just been a lifesaver to be able to continue that. But it also, having students so soon after class be able to experience that, I think it's all about giving you that confidence, because you have the energy. That's not the hard part. The hard part is having that confidence in yourself to, you know, understand you're always going to have it. It's always going to flow. And you found out in class how quickly it did flow. Within 5-10 seconds, people were experiencing, you know, the energy and sensations from that energy. So, you know, I think that having these virtual sessions, and people understand, I mean, we had, you know, just last Reiki share, we had one lady from out of town and the power went out where she was. So she called in on her phone. She couldn't get in on Zoom, but she was able to call in on her phone, and she was blown away by how strong that energy was just coming through the phone.
Yes.
And we don't even have to use any of these media. We don't need to use any devices. We can just do a 30-minute Reiki session on somebody using a pillow, a picture, a name, and they will, and if they know that it's coming, then you can get feedback. Oftentimes we do it for people and they don't even realize that they're getting that Reiki energy. They just may feel different.
Yes. And
Or
I
they
know
may find that they're healing a lot faster than what they thought they would. So, yeah. So, I'm just trying to think if there was anything else. Is there anything else that if you, for people who want to experience Reiki, I didn't put it up here, but what I can do, I didn't ask you beforehand, but if you are seeing people where you live, then I can put your contact information on in the description box. And if you're willing to see clients, either in North Bay or where you are.
Yeah.
And are there any last words for people who either want to come in for sessions or for people who are thinking about taking a Reiki class that you want to share with us?
Just do it. If that is what your intuition is telling you, your heart is telling you, then just go with it. Just go with it. You won't be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be. It may not be what you're expecting, but like I said, everybody's different. It's not going to be what you expect.
Yeah.
And just, allow it to flow. Just allow it. And you will feel the benefits from it. Absolutely.
And I think too is just to trust it.
Yeah.
Just to trust that it's there, and we don't have to know it's a gift. Like you said, I love that you said that, because it's truly a gift, and we have to honor that gift.
Yep.
And, it comes, and I guess the other thing too is we get the benefit of it. When I was working, well, you work full time too, and you'll know this as, you start to take on more clients, that, people would say, well, oh, you worked all day and then you're going to go give Reiki sessions. So I'm going, yeah, I can't wait to get there, because I'm going to get the benefit of it. It's going to be very beneficial to me too. So, yeah. And have you given any Reiki to your pets?
That's the funny thing. Actually, today we were at the farm, and the girl's pony had a swollen leg. And I was just like, and I don't know why, like she never had it when we were there the other day. And so I was like, I'm going to try this. And I did. My puppy won't have anything to do with it, but the pony was standing there. So I was like, all right, I called the energy in, I worked down her leg. And as soon as where her swelling started, the tingling in my hands was unbelievable. And I worked my way down, and I could feel the heat coming from it. And I mean, it was only probably 5, maximum 10 minutes. But it was just, I wanted to try that on her just because of the swelling. We don't know why it was swollen. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was the first time. It was interesting, because humans can tell you what they feel. Right?
Yeah.
They can say, this is what I felt through this experience. And I know a lot of my case studies, when they first had it done, this is their first time having Reiki done too. So they don't really say anything. They're like, oh, I didn't really experience much. But then the next day they came in and they'll like, I've text them, how are you doing? And I feel much lighter. I had a great sleep. I'm like, good.
Yes, it's the great sleep that day.
Right?
Yeah. It's great sleep. There are, excuse me. Sorry. Oh, I have to take
some water.
Yeah. It's always the great sleep people have. Some people don't, but it's usually because they're still processing a lot of stuff. but it seems that I'm finding more and more with the Holy Fire Reiki and people that have their placements through that. I think it's the air conditioning in here. It just kicked on and kicking up dust. Excuse me.
Sorry, I'm going really dark up here. I'm like, oh, like I'm really red all together.
That's okay. I think that it just puts them into that deeper state of I'm noticing that people are sleeping a lot better, whereas I think with the Usui Reiki, it's hard to explain. It's not that it still works, it's still working, but it's a gentler. So, and I think that it takes a little bit more to get that healing process going, whereas the Holy Fire and people that have that placement, it just seems to zonk people out, and they're able to, get that deep sleep. So,
Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure speaking to you, and I can't wait to see you. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
No
I'm
problem.
just going to stop the recording, but stay online and we'll chat for a little bit before.
Okay.
Thank you everyone for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed our little interview here. And if you hear anything more about Reiki, or you're interested in sessions or certification, then feel free to reach out for me for the teaching side. If you're interested in booking a session with Kayleigh, who, can I say where you live?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Do you know where I live?
I know where you live. Outside of Barrie, Ontario.
There you go.
But she is often sometimes in North Bay, so.
I am. I'm usually up there.
Yes. And hopefully we'll see you back here permanently. That would be really great.
Who knows, right? You
Yes.
can't predict the future.
You
Nothing is permanent. Nothing is permanent.
That's right. There's always change, right?
Yep.
So I'm going to sign off here, and thanks again, Kayleigh, and I'll chat with you again here soon. I just got to put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing here. I couldn't wear them during this session because it was too much reflection.